I have no idea what this is. Fix it. Magnetic box, fancy. Holy. Oh, you can't see it, can you? That's very cool. Yes, yes, yes.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for some fun crafty content like this. Today we're talking about proposal boxes. I'm going to show you how I made my proposal box, and I did mine in a way that kind of matched my wedding theme. When planning your box, the first thing you want to do is decide what you intend to put inside so you can measure those items and know exactly what size box you need. What kind of items do people put in a proposal box? It could really be anything. Something they like or you think they would like, something that links the two of you, something related to the wedding, punny. There's no limit, really. You decide what you think would be best and what your man or maid of honor would most appreciate. But if you need some inspiration, here are some additional ideas for you. You can DIY and make things yourself, or you can order them from Etsy or Amazon, or use items right off the shelf. What's important is that you let them know how much it would mean to you for them to be part of your special day. You can use any kind of box, one you have that fits your theme, or one you have that you can do a makeover on, or you can go shopping and find something that fits your vision. I headed to the store and I found all sorts of options. Once I had the box, the next thing I wanted was foam to keep everything in place, to give the box an overall nicer look as opposed to just having items loose and rolling around in there. I wanted everything to look exactly how I put it in when it was opened. I placed the box on top of the foam and traced the outline. Your measurements don't have to be exact. Foam is squishy, but you want it to be snug inside the box. The size foam you want is probably going to depend on the thickness of the fabric you might want to use in the next steps. Use a knife or scissors to cut the shape you marked on the foam. I'm using the world's dullest scissors here. Not sure why, since I have a ton of scissors laying around here. Once you have your shape cut out, do a test fit inside the box to see if you need to make any adjustments. This box was pretty deep, and to accommodate the mini bottle of champagne, I decided I wanted to do a second layer of foam using the cutaway pieces, which I put underneath the full piece. I had a man of honor, not a maid of honor. So I had that put on this cute flask that was personalized just for him. It has a tuxedo design in his name along with our wedding date. And I also found this cute little bottle of blue champagne, and I thought it was perfect because we planned on having blue champagne at the wedding. And I know some of you are probably asking, why are you putting champagne with the flask? But it just seemed more like a celebratory thing to me, more wedding-y, so that's what I went with. I also got this really nice wood-handled knife for him, so I'll put that in the box as well. The knife actually came in a box, but I prefer the look of the wood grain with everything that I have going on here, so I'm not going to include that. The next order of business is deciding on placement. Figure out how the items will be arranged within the box. I'm going to lay my items out on top of the foam. Look how perfect that is. And then I'm just going to make an outline on the foam so I know where to cut. When you make the outline, shift the item over a little bit so that your outline is actually smaller than the item instead of being larger, which is what'll happen if you go just along the edges. You want your item to fit in there pretty snugly. Remember, you can always take more foam out, but it's a little harder to add back if you cut the hole too big. So now I have a rough outline of my items, and I'm going to go ahead and start cutting away. I actually forgot that I have a flower I want to put up here, so this and this, I'm going to actually move them down just a little bit. I did start out trying to cut the foam with a knife, but found that it was easier to do with scissors. Because the little champagne bottle was actually almost the depth of the box, I did also have to cut away a bit of the foam on the bottom. I did a little shallow tapered cut since it was just the very bottom of the bottle that was touching. I am not worried about the marks that I made because they will end up being covered. I went ahead and set the items in place for a dry fit before I moved into my next step, which in this case was cutting a hole to set the rows that I wanted to put in the corner. So I decided to take out this extra piece of foam and have it just be one layer. For one thing, it's because this bottle was a little bit too close to the top. And for another thing, it's because I wanted to be able to put these flowers in and there just wasn't enough clearance. So now it is time to put my fabric over my foam. Not sure why I didn't have this part on video, but what I did was I cut a piece of fabric that was a couple inches bigger than my foam on each side and laid it with the front side facing down on a flat surface so that the back was facing up. Then I took the foam outside and I lightly sprayed the front of it with spray adhesive so that it would be tacky and stick to the fabric. Then I went back inside and laid the foam down, front side down against the back of the fabric and pulled the sides up, gathering the corners. Next, I cut an X where the holes were for my inserts and used scissors to make sure that the slits went all the way up to the corners. Now the flaps can be folded through the holes and around to the back to cover the foam in the openings. What I did was use super glue to adhere the sides, but in hindsight, I wouldn't recommend doing it this way. When you do yours, a better way would be to adhere it to the back and just leave the sides alone, because you can see I ended up here with these kind of ugly white splotches from the super glue. The good news is that once everything's in place, you won't even see that because the items will cover it up. Once that's completely dried, you can go ahead and put your items in place. And all that's left to do is add your message, which in my case was pasted to the lid of the box, but you can do that however you would like. It might be nice to put a card or something like that inside so that it's sitting right on top when they open it. But there you are, the box is complete and you are ready to propose. I hope you had fun and got some great ideas for creating your own box for your big day. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please hit that like button. If you know anyone that's in wedding mode that may like this video, please be sure to share it with them. I would love for you to comment with items that you might include in your own proposal box, so please be sure to let me know. For more crafty content like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!